And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the third edition of the Reggae PodClash. Devin, how you doing?
Yay, number three.
Number three,
It
we
feels
did it. We made it.
it feels like three is somehow significant, you know?
It definitely is. I mean, if you look at numbers and what they mean, three,
Three means
third in a row,
yeah, that's exactly what
it's more
three
than
means.
two. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right
So,
about that.
so cheers to that.
Yes, I will
Got my-
cheers. I
my
will
red
cheers to
cup
that.
again. Cheers.
Yeah,
Let's
what are
do
you
this.
drinking?
This is just Gatorade.
Oh, so is this.
Yeah, perfect.
Mhm.
Well, we got a very special guest on the show today.
Yes. My buddy Nathan Feinstein from Iya Terra.
Yeah.
And
Big
we're going
Nate.
to be we'll talk all kinds of things with Nate. So he needs no introduction really. So we don't even need to give him one.
Yeah, don't give him one. That's
No.
too much already. How many of you guys were out there? How many listeners were out there for the first one and second one? Raise your hand. Raise your emoji hand. Can they put emojis in here?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think so.
Keep it clean, people. Throw your emoji in there. Keep it clean, huh? But thank you guys if you have been here for all three editions, and we're pretty stoked on this. Me and Devin are really excited. We got some really, really cool things planned, lined up for future shows, and we're constantly making this bad boy better than ever.
What have you, Roger, been doing this week, quarantine-wise? Like, how has your quarantine week been?
It's been pretty cool, keeping the music thing going, being productive in that sense. How about yourself? What have you been up to?
I've been doing a lot of music, working on this acoustic album. I've been
Yeah.
doing live streams. Last night was really cool because my brother and I, we got to connect with some old ska scene friends. You know, Bubba, the Bubba Master.
Oh, yeah,
from
Bubba.
Israelites and everything.
Yes.
He's been doing this. It's called Crossing the Streams.
Mm-hmm.
And last night he had Jesse, your good friend and
Yes, Jesse
bandmate
Wagner.
from the Agrolites, Jesse Wagner.
Yeah.
Vic Ruggiero from the Slackers,
Beautiful.
and myself came on and did some hanging out and some playing music. And my brother joined me on banjo.
Yeah.
And it's the first time, as you know, Patrick, my brother, is playing banjo and upright bass and lead guitar on a lot of this acoustic record that I'm working on.
Right.
And that's the first time him and I have done a live stream together. And
Okay.
it went over really well. And Vic was watching. Vic did his thing. And then he was watching Patrick and I play, and he kept putting in comments like little fireball emojis. And he was
Okay.
really into the banjo thing. Like Patrick's like his new best friend now.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so it was cool because Vic Ruggiero is like someone that I've always crossed paths with over the years, but we never really established any kind of relationship. And so he's been always one of my favorite songwriters. So it was
Right.
cool to like finally do a thing with him where we got to like really interact a little bit. So that was really cool last night. And then we walked down to the beach to see the bioluminescence thing.
Ooh.
If people don't know about that, if you're watching from other parts of the world, right now in Southern California, there's this phytoplankton that's in the water, and at night it looks like someone's shining a big blue light on the waves. It's crazy.
Right.
So we went down there last night, and there were a grip of people at the beach, which felt a little shady. You know how like when you're sitting in traffic sometimes, when you're like in rush hour and you're like getting mad, you're like, why are all these people on the road? And you don't like consider yourself as one of the people on the road. That's how I felt last night. I was like, what are all these people doing out? And then,
Look
of
at
course we
you.
were out. Yeah.
Out there watching the Kool-Aid waves.
But we had to see it and bring my dog. It was great. Yeah, so it's been a good week actually.
Dope, man.
It's been good.
Those
yeah.
waves are crazy, right? I mean, I thought I didn't really know the scientific whatever behind it, so I just thought it was like jellyfish getting mad or something, or something was cracking. It looks like Kool-Aid. It looks like neon Kool-Aid or Gatorade. It was really cool nonetheless. I was digging it. I went out there too, and so yeah. Does that happen? Like because
It happens every few years, and this year it's a very strong one. They don't know if it's because of the historic rain we had.
Oh.
But it's usually you don't see it. I saw it once 20 years ago or so. When I was like 18, we used to go to the beach a lot in Malibu, and obviously this was before social media. So I remember one night we went down there, and all the waves were blue, and we were like, what's going on? And I went home and looked it up, and that's what it was. But I haven't seen it since then. It's pretty crazy.
Nice. Well, hopefully it happens again, right? I thought it was happening because we're all indoors and there's not pollution or whatever. I don't know.
I think it's jellyfish getting mad.
I think it's
you had it
jellyfish
right,
fighting under there, man. This is where they all brawl, man. It's the Royal Rumble. They plan it.
So we got some cool stuff this tonight for this episode. Not only do we have the great Nate Feinstein from Iya Terra coming up in a little bit, but you and I have picked some really cool records tonight. And I say we just get right into that. What do you think?
Let's get into it, man. Let's play your record. I got yours all queued up here. Let me rock it.
Yes. This is our tune of the week segment.
Yeah.
Oh, I
story have been hidden in the dark. Nobody never tell it to I. The open story have been hidden in the dark. Nobody never tell it to hide. It's only Rastafari. Oh, Rastafari. It's only Rastafari. Tell it to hide. Yeah, Rastafari. Oh, Rastafari. It's only Rasta. Tell it to hide. Babylon tried to fool I with their false tradition. Babylon tried to fool I with their lying tradition. But when they think it's safety, it's sudden destruction. Yeah, when they think it's safety, it's sudden destruction.
Heavy.
the organ. There's some cool little like organ answers right here.
It's only Rastafari. Oh, Rastafari. It's only Rastafari. Tell it to I. Yeah, Rastafari.
I want to get to this one spot and then
Rastafari. It's only Rasta. Tell it to I.
so you hear the organ player listening to the singer, right? But
Oh yeah.
Babylon bound to suffer.
That's dope.
Babylon
Yeah.
bound to fall. Down on their own sword, they got to fall down.
All right, you can pull that up.
on their own
Heck yeah.
sword. One
all right,
dope.
yes. So that is Babylon Bound to Fall by Owen and the Tempo. I heard that song for the first time, same as so many great songs that I love now, from Chuck Foster, the radio DJ here in LA, who since the mid '90s has been doing his show on KPFK, the Reggae Central, on Sundays, and I used to tape it. And that song got played one week, and I was just like, okay, that's like that style right there. I love all kinds of styles in Jamaican music, from the early days to stuff that was made like yesterday.
Mhm.
But that kind of style, which Rocksteady Chris, you remember the old DJ
Oh,
from
yeah.
LA?
Yeah,
Him and I
yeah.
used to call this country style roots,
Okay.
because like it has all these country Jamaican, the Jamaican countryside proverbs that they would use, so lyrically, and then it has this kind of groove, like how you'll call certain grooves a chugger because of the organ, like that style right there. Something about it, just I lump those all together. I even have a category in my record box, a little section that says country style,
Right. Right.
and it's stuff like that.
I was gonna ask you about that. Yeah, how you describe it. Country,
Yeah, because it's
countryman style.
because there's so many groups that would come down from the country to Kingston and record a one-off. And this is one of those groups. Like, who is Owen in the Tempo? Like, no one knows.
Right,
I don't know.
right.
I've researched it. Nobody knows.
I mean, Owen Thompson, right, the producer. So we
Yeah.
can safely assume
That he's the singer of
he's
it,
the
right?
singer.
Do you
He's
know
like,
any-
I'm saving this money. I'm gonna produce this record, and boom, I'm
do you-
singing this mug.
Do you know anything about Owen Thompson, the producer?
I don't. I
Yeah, me
went
neither.
I went to school with a dude named Owen Thompson back in junior high, but that's about it. No, but I get you. When I first saw this, I thought the same thing, like we talked about last week. It's like that one-off. I've never heard this group ever, and it's so dope, And so I totally assumed that it's like produced by Owen Thompson. It's like, all right,
Right.
yeah, he's producing, he's singing, he's
And
selling.
it just trips me out though, because it's like, I can see if you're a one-off group and you come down and record some record, and it's like whatever,
Right.
and then you go back and never do anything again. But in Jamaican music from that era, there's so many tunes that are not whatever. It's like you're like, oh, this is so good.
Right.
Why why just one? Like, why this group that was so good?
I
But-
mean,
but
my theory is like, okay, think about this, right? You're a group. This is your goal. This is your dream. You get your one shot, right? So you got these established singers that are established, kind of pick a singer, whatever, out now this Ken Booth, and they're kind of, okay, you already know they're going to bring some fire. But then you got these groups where this is their one shot. They don't have that historic discography already. They don't have that clout. So they're going to bring their best tune to the table. And I'm sometimes, a lot of the times, maybe that's the only thing they cut. you know. So
Yeah.
that's my theory behind that.
And Clinton, we talked to Clinton about this a little bit last week, and he was saying that, you know, the life was just so difficult, and the daily life was so difficult in Jamaica. And, you know, sometimes you go down and you record that song, and yeah, maybe you got musical talent, but it wasn't a hit or it didn't sell, and now you got to go back and do your thing you were doing before and pursue some other outlet. You know, music's just, it's hard to be a professional musician wherever you are and whatever time you're in, you know.
Right.
So I feel like that's probably part of it too. But
Totally.
and then anybody who ever, like, from time to time people hit me up, because I did a podcast about 10 years ago where it was like me basically pretending to be Chuck Foster and like radio DJ style. So I would play like 5 or 6 songs and then bring it down and be like, well, that was da da da. And then before that we had Owen in the tempo and that was I remember that the very first episode I did, that was the first song I played. And so people would hit me up about that song because they heard it from that for sure.
Right.
But
right.
And where can people check that out if they want to hear the whole thing?
Oh man, they can go. Well, it was on our website. What we're doing every week is putting the 2 songs that we're talking about. We put that on our website,
That's
a playlist, and so it gets updated every single Saturday. So actually, this morning I updated it with 2 new featured songs that we're going to talk about next week, along with an 8-song playlist of songs that you chose and I chose. And we're pretty proud of this because this is kind of like, you know, we've been listening to reggae for a bit, and we're really excited more than anything to share when we find like a really cool song. Like if Devin finds a cool song that he maybe thinks I haven't heard before, or vice versa, we just get excited about like, hey, check this out, or send each other the link or whatever. So that's kind of what we're doing, you know, to you guys, is compiling these lists of songs that we kind of want to, maybe you don't know about them. They're not your top 10ers, or they're not the ones in your greatest, you know, reggae hit box set or whatever. And so go check that out. The reggaepodclash.com. But if they want to hear this song,
just go on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we don't have a master YouTube playlist yet, huh?
Not yet.
Yeah, we're gonna compile one this week of the tunes of the week from past. So you can, but go on YouTube, check out Owen in the Tempo, Babylon Bound to Fall. It's definitely on there, and it's worth digging the whole thing. I think someone even uploaded a whole video where it's the A side, and then the B side of this is just says Dubwise, and it's just a nice. It's not even like a dub. It's a version, you know. It's just no vocals, and you get to really concentrate on that heavy rhythm section.
Right.
But Roger has selected a tune also.
I got a tune. By the way, that tune that you just selected, I looked up on Discogs, and that's $54 right now. So that's
it's
I always like to do that, right?
It's ironic, right? Because some of these most of these artists made no money from their recordings, and now collectors are selling. You know, if I were to sell that 7-inch right now and get $70 for it, that's about probably $69 more than the original artist ever made off that tune. You know?
Yeah, totally.
It's crazy.
I would be so pissed.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, think about that. All right, so here's this next tune. What? So this record right here
That's heavy.
is massive. Where do I start? So I went on Discogs and I looked up yours, right? And
Yeah.
$54, that's a lot of money for a 45, and it's well deserving because it's a great tune. This record, the lowest it sold for, no lie, $2,700.
What?
No lie.
And so is that original press you have?
No.
Okay.
So that's the zinger right here. It's like,
Yeah.
but there are some records, believe it or not, that even the reissue isn't cheap.
Oh yeah.
I think this is one of them. So this is definitely not the original press. So this record sold for $2,700 at the lowest, right?
And that's
the
one
average,
song. It's a 7-inch record.
Right, and the average is $2,800, and the highest it sold for was $3,300. So $3,300 for a 45. Isn't that crazy?
It's
That
insane.
is crazy.
It's like insulting.
It's crazy.
Just because the artist never made any money, you know?
Right. Now, Mr. Roy Patton is still with us. He's more known for his collab with Roy and Yvonne. They have a lot of songs under that name, and it's him and Yvonne Harris. And Roy's crazy, right? Because I looked up some info on him, and he has more music out as part of a duet than like as part of a solo dude. So check this out. He was with Stranger Cole, and the group was called the Rovers. He did this thing. He got his start playing with Millie Smalls, who, rest in peace, Millie actually passed away this past week. My Boy Lollipop was her biggest well-known song.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah.
Even my parents know that song.
It was a hit, man.
Yeah.
It freaking came to America. And I mean, a lot of people know it.
You like hear that on K-Earth sometimes.
Oh, for sure. You hear it like as you're shopping and stuff.
On the oldie station, yeah.
And so, yeah, and then he has another group with Monty Morris called Monty and Roy. So, I mean, back in the, maybe he was just throwing darts at the board being like, all right, who wants to collab? Who wants to get in on this? I mean, something's worked out because he created that tune. And oddly enough, it was credited to just him. So it's a great tune. I mean, when I hear this song, and I've known this song for a little bit. I forgot when I first heard it. It was definitely digitally. It wasn't like on the 45. But I'm a sucker for these tunes, whether it's rocksteady or ska, reggae, whatever, where the music itself, if you took away the vocal, you took away the vocal melody, the music itself was like so boss. And I think, and that gets me to the domino effects into like me thinking, okay, when people think this song, they go, oh, Roy Patton is the man, like this is the dopest thing. But a lot of people don't realize that they don't think about the musician. I mean, who knows who actually was writing the different parts for that song, you know? But I'm willing to bet, okay, the little keyboard line, the keyboard player wrote that, or like, you know, something like that. So we're really quick to, I know Out and Atlas too, right? I think of Out and Atlas, I think of Willow Tree, and I'm like, oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. Out and Atlas is the king. You can't take anything away from him. But how much did the actual musicians, how much input did they give, you know, and how much credit did they give? So it's a song like that kind of reminds me of that too. It's like, man, the musicians deserve a lot of credit in that. You know, these compositions are insane.
It's true, because that's one of the things about Jamaican music that makes it different from American and like UK music is that it was way more often than not in Jamaica. It was a singer or a group of singers getting with a studio band in the studio, and the studio band and the singers were not in the same band. You know, it wasn't like the Expanders or the Aggrolites or like Iya Terra or like the Beatles, you know, going to, you know, where it's the singer and the band, they're all self-contained. It's the same thing, right? You know, so when you talk about who's helping create the music, it's easy to be like, oh, that's a Beatles song. And just by saying that, what you mean is that everybody in the Beatles contributed and blah, blah, blah. But in Jamaican music, it came out under Roy Patton. So you're like, oh, that's such a good Roy Patton song. But like so many of the things that made it so amazing were the musicians in the studio that were not part of the Roy Panton group. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
They were just studio musicians.
And unless you're a nerd like yourself or me, you don't. Unless you're a geek like you or me, you don't really, you know, dig deep and find that, okay, you know, there was this guy on drums, this guy on keyboards, this guy on bass or guitar or whatever. And then it's only when you dig deep that you get to appreciate, okay, cool, how much of a genius, you know, Lynn Tate was, or Roland Alfonso, or Leroy Sibbles as a bass player, or you know, whatever. Yeah, so I always think about that. I give credit to the singer a lot. It is what it is, I guess. You know, you're the face of the song, you're the actual vocal melody going on.
Look,
but yeah, man, this guy's
Bubba
insane.
Sanchez says nerd alert.
Nerd alert, man. Where's the nerd emoji? Throw the emoji up. Not that emoji. Come on.
know.
Oh, great. We're gonna have to regulate this.
That tune also, like when you told me what the tune was gonna be, I didn't recognize it by the name. But then when you started playing it, like I feel like DJs in LA have that tune. I've definitely heard.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's probably you. I probably heard you play it.
Maybe. Yeah, I played it a couple times. Like I said, this is definitely the reissue on Liquidator. But you're not wrong. A lot of these collectors, I mean, Los Angeles is really dope for, having a bunch of old school collectors anyways, but a lot of these guys, the fact that it's so, I mean, because a record could be expensive, and that's cool, whatever, it's rare, but is it really worth that much? I mean, shit, no records are worth $3,000, in my opinion, unless I'm super rich, and I'll go ahead and buy that record tomorrow. But my point is that this is one of those records where it's like, man, it deserves it. It's that dope of a tune, I think. It's cool.
So heavy.
Yeah,
so
for
people
sure.
go check that out on YouTube.
Yeah.
And now I think we should get to the meat of the show.
The meat and the potatoes.
And this week we have a very good friend of mine, Mr. Nathan Feinstein from Iya Terra. So let's, without further ado, let's bring Nate on. All right, shall we?
Nate Dog.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
What's up, man?
Hey guys.
How you doing, man?
I'm well, man. Just hanging in my empty apartment. Me and my girl just moved, so I had to come back here. I don't have Wi-Fi yet at the new place.
Right, okay.
Because with this whole Corona thing, there's like so much a demand that it could take 7 to 10 days to get Wi-Fi. So I came back. I'm sitting in an empty apartment right now to use that modem over there. So
Nice.
Happy to be here, though, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being on
Thank
here,
you, man. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it. It's good to see you. I've missed you, Nate.
I miss you too, Dev. And I want to say to both of you guys, man, I dig what you're doing. I've watched all the episodes thus far.
Yeah.
Devin texted me a while back and asked me to go on, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna check out a couple other ones first. And
Yeah, you got it. Can't just jump in.
But and then I saw the first one, and I was like literally watching it, and I was like, oh, I want to do this for sure. I love what y'all are doing, man. You guys are great.
Right
Thanks,
on,
bro.
man.
Appreciate it.
yeah.
I'm even wearing my my Expanders Iya Terra 4-piece band.
Roots Train.
Roots Train tour.
Dude.
This is Expanders got Iya Terra at the last possible minute where we could have gotten them as like an opening band. If we'd waited like two months more, they probably should have been headlining that tour.
Nah,
but
man.
Oh, wow. Blowing up.
Bro,
Huh?
No,
you guys were telling us that whole tour, and I was like, dude, I can't hear y'all say that to me, man. You guys have been idols to us since day one.
Well,
But yo, as long as
numbers
we're talking about what we're wearing, Aspect Apparel, my boys Nick Loporchio and Luis Tovar,
Yeah.
my bassy and my keysy, they just started a clothing line. Go check them out, Aspect Apparel.
Dope, man. Sweet. I dig it.
And Gucci on my belt.
okay,
Yeah.
well,
I'm just kidding.
Well, as always, I never wear pants to this stream, so
that's one of the great things about this. Yeah.
I would show you what I got, but
Keep it torsoing up, bro. That's
man.
all we're doing here.
yeah, just stand up and people gonna have to.
So everybody watching, if you got, we can see all your comments and everything. So if you got stuff you want to ask Nate, like please leave it in the comment section, and I will find it and I will throw it up, and Nate will answer some questions. But I wanted to ask you just right off the bat, like, are you guys? I happen to know because I've known you for a while. That you're a workaholic and you love to make music, and
It's
so
true.
I imagine that this quarantine, one of the blessings has been that you've been able to work on creating some music. And have you been able to get some good writing done and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, man. So definitely, for sure, for like that first month, it was like, oh, we're home from tour, time to hit the studio, and like you have all these ideas floating around from when you're on the road and such. And so it was just locked down in the studio, writing, and then like the weirdest shit happened, which I kind of think it's valuable to like touch upon, because I've noticed a lot of my other artist friends kind of going through the same shit. Like just when we talk like off to the side, like if I call a buddy and I'm like, so how's it going? It's like, and I saw this great article, but essentially what it was saying is like artists who tour and who work a lot, like we're so used to working with zero time. Like we have such limited time. So we're like, we can bust out a whole album in like a couple months, right? Because we're like, oh, I'm only home for this long. But now we're in this phase of like, we're having to deal with too much time for the first time ever. So in order to keep my mental health, like I went hard on that first month, and then I hit this creative wall where I was like, dude, I gotta chill out, you know? So I stepped away from the studio for like a week and just like tried to inspire myself, like trying to do things and like read new shit and like experience stuff so that I could get more ideas and more like clear creativity and inspiration together, because it drained away. I went so hard that first month, and I've noticed a lot of my friends going through the same thing, you know, and I think that's really important to like, in this world that we're living in, like you see everybody posting on social media like, oh, I'm working. So if we have one day where we're like uninspired, we can like beat ourselves up over that. I don't know if you guys have experienced that at all, but like with this quarantine, like after that first month, there was a couple days where I was like, I just don't want to work on music today. Like I'm so burnt. And then I would like kind of beat myself up for it, like feel guilty, you know, like, well, you're only going to get this pandemic one time. Like you're going to be back on the road.
You only get this Corona one time. Dog.
You know what I mean? It's like, bro, if you don't have 10 albums after this shit, you're lazy.
Don't waste your Corona.
Yeah.
You know? So like I've had to balance it, you know, of like living and working, because we could just go so far in either direction during this time where we have so much stuff, you know? And it felt good to know I wasn't alone in that. Like there was other artists that were like feeling that same thing, you know?
Yeah. I think if you raise the bar for yourself, then you're gonna. We're not superhuman, so you're going to go through those moments where you have to sit back and just be like, "Look, man, I'm not feeling it right now." Mm-hmm. But as long as we keep ourselves accountable, because I'm the same way, man. I'm a workaholic. I like to just keep going at it. And when I heard, it's funny because when this started happening for myself, I'm like, well, I had this whole couple weeks planned to just stay home and grind anyway. So
Same.
I was like thinking, come on, everyone, you guys get to work, man. Now there's a lot of people at the store. I can't go to Guitar Center now. What's going on here?
Yeah.
So but yeah, man, you get those moments where you're just like, oh man, all right, I just want to like chill and do nothing. But if you raise the bar and you have high standards like yourself, like, you know, Devin, myself, then you're gonna be murdering no matter what, even if you take a couple days off and stuff, you know.
That's kind of how I feel. And then it was like such like, you know, I took a couple days off because I'm still doing these online lessons via Backstage Music Lessons. So I'm still in the studio every day, and I'll trickle into like some songs, but. Yeah, man, I've been juggling tons of projects. To actually answer your question, Dev, you know, working on a new Iya Terra record already.
Sweet.
And so just writing for that. I'm not going to produce the next one, so I'm just writing and bringing it to the guys, and we're sending shit back and forth. And then I'm producing a record for my buddy Mahali from Twiddle. We just dropped the first track.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it was fun, man. Love the guy, and he's a great songwriter and singer. It's been dope. So. And then working on a couple like just stuff for fun, you know. I think Josh mentioned on here we're doing a track together and just for fun, you know. And then I'm working on some stuff with Kyle from Revolution. We're doing like some death metal, grindcore, reggae roots shit.
Beautiful.
Dude, that's fucking awesome because you know, you and I did an interview a few months ago, or I guess a little longer than that, where we talked about that aspect of things, the rock. The reggae rock aspect, and that was one of my favorite parts about that conversation, and I wanted to maybe like talk about that again here. Because what we were saying, it was really interesting, like the slant that you brought to it, because you were saying how you love, like, you're such a, you know, you love rock and you love rock guitar and like really, you know, high musicianship rock bands, and then when you first heard that there was a genre called reggae rock, which is how this whole really American reggae scene is kind of described by a lot of people. You told me that you were like, whoa, like that sounds so cool. I see all the possibilities. And then when you heard it, you were like, a lot of it was like, wah, wah. When they say rock, they don't mean like this awesome like Led Zeppelin style riff. They mean like now the band is not playing reggae anymore, and the drummer is kind of doing this like open hi-hat little thing, and then and you were kind of bummed. And that's one of the things I've always noticed from day one with Iya Terra, is that when you guys are doing reggae rock the way it should be done, like high musicianship stuff. When you switch into rock, it's like crazy, intricate riff stuff, you know, between the reggae section. So I wanted to, you know, ask you kind of to revisit that part of the conversation you and I were having a while ago.
Yeah, man. I think like really it's just about like not making it tacky, you know what I mean? It's like and it comes from just, I don't know, trying to be original and be unique. And if you want to do a part that's heavier, don't just be like, all right, well, just open up the hi-hat and we'll just throw some distortion on and strum some chords. Like that kind of shit is dope for a live setting, in my opinion, but like a lot of the times that doesn't need to be on a record, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like stick to the meat of the song and like find that groove that can like really just be dope for the whole song. And then for live, if you want to open it up, because we get way heavier live than we do on albums, you know? Mm-hmm.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's all about just keeping it tasteful, you know, because I think all of us, like most dudes who are super into reggae too, like we love rock too, you know what I mean? Like we love rock and roll, old school rock and roll, like 70s rock, you know, 60s rock, whatever it is.
Yeah, I've been following you guys for a bit, and I love that mixture. You know, everyone that's incorporating reggae has their own flip and their taste on it. So what are some of those influences? Like you're mentioning bands from those years. Like what are some of those bands that you guys look up to?
Yeah, man. You mean from like the classic rock?
Yeah, exactly. Like yeah.
My favorite band probably of all time is Pink Floyd. I'm a big Pink Floyd guy. But I also like, you know, I like the Grateful Dead and Jimi Hendrix and Fleetwood Mac and yeah, man, I love all that stuff. Zeppelin, you know, I grew up on all that stuff. That was like my first introduction into like, I don't know, like counterculture kind of music, I guess. Being a kid, you know, like I kind of just dig in. Like I would go to the library and like rent CDs. So you'd see like AC/DC albums and shit like that, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah. It's weird though, you know, because reggae rock is like, it's a, like, I don't know. It's like, it's a blanket term that just describes kind of like California and American reggae bands, you know, but only us nerds, like you say, like are going to like know the difference between genres. Like, oh, that band is more like roots, or that band is more like, you know, contemporary or whatever. It's strange. It's a strange thing, but I would just hope to represent the genre well in general. You know what I mean?
Well,
Totally.
I mean, you definitely are. And, you know, you guys have been, it's been cool from my vantage point knowing you guys from when you were, you know, younger dudes coming to our shows.
For sure.
And then kind of becoming aware, oh, these kids like have a band. And then seeing like, oh, like people are starting to like this band, and then seeing like, oh, people are really starting to like this band. And it's cool because I can't think of another band since I've been kind of in this scene that I've been able to watch that progression, you know what I mean? And and you guys just having more and more success. And I was talking to Vanessa about this today, and like I really wanted to ask you, like, do you have an end goal with this? Like, what does success look like for you? Would you like to get, you know, like Vanessa and I just watched the Coldplay documentary, and like, would you like to get to a Coldplay level? You know, would you like to? Do you want to like stay within
a Lady
the genre,
Gaga level?
You know what I mean? What? No, but you know, like what? Because I always wondered with that about those groups that I can see. Man, these guys have like I don't know what their ceiling is, you know, and like what, you know, you see bands like at the top of our genre, like Slightly Stupid and Revolution, that really, you know, they're even still ascending, and they're, I don't know what the ceiling is for those guys either. And I've always felt like you guys are one of those groups. And so I wanted to ask, like, what does success look like for you, you know?
Yeah. Well, thanks for the kind words, first of all, but
out of truth,
dude, it's crazy too. I don't want to like, speak too much before answering the question, but I do tell the story a lot about how like expanders were like such a turning point for us, just in being like we had to earn y'all's respect. And I always say, like, people in this scene, they're always like, oh, good set, man. You know what I mean? Good set.
I still don't have Devin's respect.
I don't know if I do, but me and him made a track together, so I was like, okay, fuck yeah.
I don't much like either of you, but go ahead.
No, man, I just think that's cool, you know, and I mention that a lot when people are like asking questions about like, what do you think about like, you know, what's your best advice to starting a band and like shit like that. And for some reason, that story, I've told it multiple times. They're just like, man, like we loved the Expanders, like coming up. They were our like LA band. We could go see them like every weekend and shit, Patty Malloy's, all that stuff. And I mean, I remember the process, you know, it was like we started as fans and then we were like putting out tunes, and then like we got a couple shows with you guys. And I specifically remember Cheeky's, like, and I just love that shit because you guys were always real with us. Like, and that was the key, was like, you guys always were just honest and like real with us. Cause I remember, bro, we played a show with you guys.
That's dangerous. Expanders honesty is a dangerous thing.
Woo! Dude, we played a show with you guys at Velvet Jones in Santa Barbara the day that track, Loving Design, came out.
Yep.
And I just remember Cheeky's coming up to me and being like, yo, man, I love that tune, but the production's awful. Like, what the fuck are you guys thinking? Like, he's like, he didn't say it like that, but he's like, I don't like that digi shit, man. Like, you guys are a good band. Like, don't do that shit. Don't do it. And I was like, fuck. Like, I always thought that was tight, man. I love the honesty in the scene and like constructive criticism. But good days, man. Those are good days.
How many red cups were in the mix?
Oh, tons.
I love it.
Yeah. To answer your question, man, shooting from the hip here, I don't know what like the roof to the success would be. Definitely, like, you know, earn some while never selling your soul. You know what I mean? Like, earn some to live comfortably, but like never sell your soul to do it. Like always play the music that's true to you. And if that can reach people to the level that, you know, you can live comfortably, then that's dope, you know? Because I guess the goal for all of us is like, I just want to have a dope home studio. I want to have a house of my own. You know what I mean? I want to like create music that's true to me, that makes other people feel good, and kind of just like live in that synergy, you know, just keep writing the songs that I truly love and putting them out, hoping that people vibe with them and listen and the fan base grows. And like, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I don't think too much down the road other than that. You know what I mean? It's never like, yeah, I'd love to be playing arenas and shit. I'd love to see reggae as a whole get that big. You know what I mean? I'd love to see the Stupids and the Revolutions like playing at fucking 20,000 person arenas. That'd be dope. I would love to be a part of that. I would love for the whole genre to be elevated and lifted and reach more people and inspire more people. And yeah, I'd just like to be a part of that, I guess.
That's nice, man.
Well answered.
Yeah, for sure, man. With that being said, because you mentioned, you know, the reggae scene as a whole, you know, it's kind of at this position, and it does have a ceiling. It feels like it has. It's always going to have these little blips in the radar where it's popular and then it's not so much popular or whatever. But as far as the other bands in the scene, like what are some bands that you see on the up and up? Like, are there any other reggae bands, whether it's the Cali scene or whether it's worldwide, as far as reggae bands concerned? Is there any that you gravitate towards? Like
dope up and comers right now kind of thing?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I've been listening to tons of other genres of shit lately. So like I've been a little bit, like my finger hasn't been as much on the pulse probably as other people. But I mean, I really love the Elevators. They're coming out of Boston. I jam those guys all the time. Obviously I fuck with the Movement. You know, those guys are arguably maybe not up and coming, but still, you know, the ceiling for them is not clearly visible. They could go as big as whatever, you know?
I agree.
Right. I like Earthcry out of Jamaica. Yeah, there's a couple dope bands.
Good, man.
Earthcry's good, dude.
Yeah.
They're underrated.
They are.
It's crazy because they've got like a full-length album out that's dope. You know what I mean? And it doesn't get the attention, but I start to see them now. They're like linking with the right crews and everything, so you start to see the name thrown around a little bit more. But yeah, man, just keep it simple. I guess Elevators. Those are my boys.
Dope, man. Yeah, no, they're dope.
Band, so
they're good.
But I'm sure that there's tons, man. I'm sure there's tons of dope up and comers that are gonna like, you know, make their name seen across the board.
Totally.
Yeah, definitely. That's the beautiful thing about this. It's always happening. One Love in here says coffee. Yeah, coffee's cool.
Yeah. Well, she won a Grammy. I think
I mean,
she's now. Yeah.
Dude, she won a Grammy and she don't even have an album. Like she just has like 5 songs.
That's what's crazy to me about like those kind of artists, because I remember like when Chronix, like I had already been listening to Chronix forever, and then like saw some shit where he's like, yo, my debut album's coming out. And I was like, bro, like you've had like singles and mixtapes floating around for like 5 years, and then he dropped the first record and it was like, huh.
The mixtape thing is super dope, and it's something that I wish that the American scene would get into. And I love that like Ineffable and Cali Roots just teamed up to do that Cali Roots rhythm.
Yeah.
Where everyone's on the same rhythm, like because I would love to see. There's all these like standard practices in Jamaican music that I think could apply so well to this genre.
Totally.
One of them being the mixtape thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to Chronix mixtapes, I think he's got 2 of them, Roots and Chalice, and then the first one that he did with all his, you know, his early hits.
Dread and Terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe that was the record.
That was the record. That was the record. The first one was, I forget, I think it was Start a Fire mixtape. I could be wrong. But anyway, it's like where that format where they'll put some of their new songs, some of the stuff that's been in the studio, but then they'll you know, move into like a Studio One rhythm where they're singing the lyrics from one of their tunes, but it's over a different rhythm. And I feel like that's just, there's so much potential for that. You know,
I think that's dope. Like, I think that's super dope, and there is a lot of potential for it. But I just think like everybody's so focused on like, you know, we're spread so thin. You know, I don't know if it's because maybe in Jamaica or like with those camps specifically, like Coffee and Chronix and Protege, maybe there's like some dope producers that are like shopping out to different artists, and it's like kind of like you guys were talking about in the Clinton episode, like a Studio One kind of vibe where there's players in the studio and then maybe a different like singer comes in and sings on some rhythms, and it's like they're not going to do a full album, but maybe have a track that later falls on a mixtape or something. But here in America, I think because like, you know, rock music is king in America and like other shit like that, it's like everybody's like, it's bands, you know, which I love. Like I love bands over artists all day. But I think like bands are tight knit and everyone's working on the band's album, you know, and it's staying in the lane. And so we're compiling this album, and every now and then you get everybody collaborating and doing fun shit, which is like, I hope we move more in that direction, you know, of making music that's like easily releasable. Like, oh, we did this dope track, boom. We don't really know like if it's going to be an album or record, but like just the more music, the better, you know. But I think the format here in the States is like albums, bands, albums, getting together, like, you know, putting that shit together and releasing as an album form.
Yeah, there's a lot there for sure.
Yeah, man.
It'll be interesting if there's like reggae producers that kind of start coming up in the scene and like shopping shit out. I think that's kind of what it needs, you know, people putting together like mixtapes and reaching out to different singers and being like, yo, like putting together a mixtape kind of thing.
I'm gonna have to go in. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to
Run
bust
it.
out with some shit.
Dude,
I'm
Roger's
telling
got
you.
some secret
Let me just start
stuff,
recording
man.
some stuff right here.
That's the thing too, dude. I feel like if you dig into like all these folks, like all three of us and everybody else, like everybody's got projects on the back burner. Like I've got so many rhythms on the hard drive that could be like, oh, swoop, and like ask some singers. But it's just a matter of time. It's like before this quarantine shit, it was like no one has any time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like no one has any fucking time. So
Yeah. You know, everybody who's watching, you know, if you want to ask Nate something, leave a comment. Be sure also to share this if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or whatever it is. Share this on your socials right now.
Share it up.
Let people know it's happening, and make sure to hit the like button too. That
us, please.
That goes a long way here. Wingatron, Nate has a question for you. He wants to know. Big up Wingatron, by the way. That's the homie. He wants to know first concert that made you want to be on stage.
Shit, I have no idea what it could have been. I started playing guitar when I was 10, and like I think it was. I don't even think I had been to a concert. I went to my first concert when I was like 12. I think I was just drawn to music and a guitar and like just the whole vibe. But I've told this story before because this is the first thing that comes to mind. Is like the way that Iya Terra started was like an interesting story because I had been playing music. I come from the metal background, doing all that in Las Vegas, and I moved to California. And for the first time in like 10 years, like in my life, I wasn't in a band. So it was like a weird identity time for me because people were like, hey, what do you do? And I'm like, go to college. You know what I mean? So it's really weird. I remember I went to Majestic Theater to catch an Iration show with like some new friends that I had met in California and watched them play and was like, yo, like, I'm finally like, I'm going to start a reggae band, you know, because I'd been listening to like Sublime and Stupid and Revolution and all that stuff, like while I was doing the hardcore and metal thing. But that Iration show was for sure like, yo, I want to do this. Like, and so then I went home, I posted an ad on Craigslist, and the next day Nick Loporchio responded and was like, yo, I love all the same bands that you do. Let's start a band.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how it happened. Yeah, man.
That's dope.
Yeah, really
Al
strange.
Scholl, I think you know Al Scholl.
Yeah, Al's a man.
Yeah, he wants to know, what was Aya's first show where you knew you were going to commit 100 no matter what to the reggae genre?
Huh. I think we knew that from the very jump, you know? It was like, that was the intention for sure. It was like, we like had fallen really deeply in love with reggae. And we just wanted to be a reggae band, you know? And every day we were like sending each other songs, like finding new artists, like as we first developed that love for reggae music, you know? And by the time we hit the first show, like we knew we wanted to be in a reggae band, you know? But Al was at some of our first shows, man, the Deep Piazza days when we were just a three-piece band. It's good times, 2013, 2014.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw you guys then. I think you had more members the first time I saw you.
We probably had like 4. But yeah, I remember we went out to Reggae on the Mountain in like 2013, 14 specifically to see the Expanders. And then we like stuck around, saw Anthony B. And that was where we discovered Anthony B. We were stoked, man.
Nice.
I think we missed y'all's set though.
That's okay. You didn't miss much. Every time we played that festival, it was like we were on tour and we had to drive some crazy. It was like San Antonio 2 days before or something.
Yeah.
We had to drive like, you know, nonstop 30 hours to get there and like not even go home and shower and wait around. And I remember some of those like shows, looking back, wishing that I had been a little bit more present, you know, because it was just like, oh, let's do this show, and then.
And you get there and you climb a fucking mountain and it's like 105 degrees.
Exactly.
Dang.
And you're playing outside and you're like, all right, sick. We've done it too, like coming off a tour. And I remember the first time we ever played it, it was like the last show of a tour and I had such a bad cold and it was so hot and I was just like sleeping under the merch table, just like,
Oh man.
God, it's fucking
Oh, I'm having
brutal.
tour flashbacks now. Let's stop that.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, pretty much.
So I see you have your guitar. Did you were you thinking maybe you'd play a song?
Totally, man.
People can leave some requests in here if anyone's got a song they want to hear. But if you got something,
yeah, for sure. So I was reading that comment. Junior Francis announced you and Arise Roots. Dude, Reggae on the Mountain is a vibe. Yeah, those are always good.
No, he announced us as Arise Roots.
No!
I think I remember that.
Yeah, he had some good ones. So Junior's one of the greatest
MCs.
I would never. Junior's one of the reasons I love reggae music. He's got me.
Junior's amazing.
Yeah, Junior. You can't say enough good things about him. But
he
definitely had some moments with the Expanders. He announced us as Rise Roots. Also, at that same festival, he said that we had the number. He was like, these are the Expanders. They have the #1 song in the country right now.
Wow.
Which we had been Hustling Culture had just come out and it was #1 on Billboard. So we got that little
#1 song in the country.
Yeah,
dude.
we weren't mad at that. We were like, all right.
I feel like Junior could say anything, and it's just the truth at that moment.
Oh yeah.
So I think you did have
moment
#1.
we had the #1 song in the country.
Sick as fuck.
But let's hear some music.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Throw some requests for sure in the comments because I would like to play a request or whatever. But
someone says Rainbow Road. You asked for it.
Sick. Maybe later. Maybe we'll do that shit later. I wanted to do something kind of exciting because I woke up this morning, knew I was gonna do this. I had no idea what songs I wanted to play. But when I got here to the apartment, I was in the backstage area and I was messing around. I wanted what sounds fun to me is we have the song Tried and True on the record. It's kind of a hip hop song, and we've never played it live, and I've definitely never played an acoustic version. So I was gonna have a go at this.
Nice.
Yeah.
World premiere.
Yeah.
Rock.
All right, cool, man. Let's do it. Talk, but you don't want the walk. Backbiters, I can hear them chide. Check yourself, and it's bad for your health where you talk about everyone else. So then talk. Enough of them and talk. And if you don't have nothing good to say, then don't say nothing at all. Spend some time in a deep meditation. Where's the love? No time for hatred. Talk a big game, what a shame. All your friends and your enemies the same. No time for bad intentions. Everybody sees through your dirty disguise. But you can't do bad and expect the blessing. Can't preach truth when all you speak lies. Talk, but you don't walk the walk. Backbiters, I can hear them chat. Check yourself, and it's bad for your health where you talk about everyone else. So them talk. Enough of them and talk. And if you don't have nothing good to say, then don't say nothing at all. Bad mind. See what you're doing with your sweet time. Hey, bad mind, well let me say bad mind. Run right away with your bad vibes. It may be old, but it's tried and true. Everything you do, it comes back to you. So if the words that you speak can keep peace, you're better off saying nothing now. Talk, but you don't walk the walk. Backbiters, I can hear them chat. Check yourself, and it's bad for your health where you talk about everyone else. So then talk. Enough of them and talk. And if you don't have nothing good to say, then don't say nothing at all. Well, you climb on the backs of your own brethren, just to get to the top, but still you forgetting. Karma will come to collect that you can always expect. Karma will come to collect, and this is what you'll get. Talk, but you don't want to walk. Backbiters, I can't even chat. Check yourself, and it's bad for your health. The way you talk about everyone else. So they talk, the talk. No for them, I talk. And if you don't have nothing good to say, then don't say nothing at all.
Yeah, man. That
All
sounds
right.
dope,
Man,
dude.
Thanks,
broke
man.
the-
Yeah.
You just broke the comment section.
What happened?
They got them going. They were
Did it get
crazy.
sick or what?
As soon as you started playing, it was all kinds of emojis and rocket ship emojis. And,
Hell yeah.
Fire and
Yeah, the elevators who you were talking about are on here. Who said,
Oh, tight.
Hell yeah,
Sweet.
Nate.
Big up, boys. They know how much I love them too, because every time we play a show together, I'm like side stage and shit. I'm like, always got to support the homies. You know what I mean?
You
yeah.
guys are good, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounded great, bro.
Thanks,
that was,
dude.
That
Yeah.
was really, really nice. Thank you
I-
for that.
That's
Yeah.
really dope, man.
I feel like with doing the live stream shit, like, you know, I haven't done a lot of like the performance side of things, but the more fun that like we can have as the performer, like the better it's gonna be, you know.
For sure.
I don't know, with any performance, I guess, but especially the live shit, you know. It's like
Yeah.
I love playing, and it's so much easier to play some of the songs that we've never played live together as a band, like just jump on the acoustic and just kick them out, you know.
So you
Yeah.
said that's one you guys don't play live?
Not yet. We were going to, but like usually we're like so divided up between, all right, write new shit, or like write it. Like every tour that we do, we change the set. Like I always want a new intro, always new outro, new transitions. Usually do a new cover. So like that shit eats up so much of my time when off the road. It's like we'll come off the road for about a month,
Yeah.
and the whole time I'm like in my head, like I'll be listening to the radio and like, you know, we'll do like, we did a Chuck Mangione cover, like a Black Sabbath cover, like I try to do like these obscure fucking covers. And they're in my head, and then when I get to the studio, I'm like, okay, time. I have a whole list of this shit. Like, okay, I want to do this for the set, and that usually eats up so much time that,
Yeah.
you know. And that one on the record is like very hip hop, so it wasn't full band playing it anyways. You know what I mean? So it's like we would have to like build the tracks and like get together and make a live version of it. You know?
Right.
I feel like a lot of people who maybe aren't in a band don't realize that the recording, the studio aspect is so much different from the live show aspect, and it's sometimes people will ask like, oh, this is such and such is my favorite song. How come you guys don't play it live? And it's like, because it's really hard to play that song live.
You're like, yo, there's like 5 features on that song. I can't play that.
Or just you don't even realize, like when you're writing something for the studio and you've never tried it live, and then like it sounds good, and then you try to do it live and you realize, oh shit, like I cannot play that guitar line and sing that song at the same time.
Right.
It's stuff like
100%,
that.
100%.
Or there's instruments that aren't there live that they were there in the song, and it just doesn't sound the same at all. You know.
Me and Devin
You're
had
like,
a good.
man, there's a French horn on the live recording. It's not gonna sound the same if we play that.
Me and Devin had a good conversation about that, like on the last interview that we did, because like I know like you guys have always been like an old fashioned, true to the roots kind of group, you know, and like we've always tried to like walk the line between like both those worlds, you know what I mean? Like holding true to like the dope old fashioned style while still like trying to do some new shit. And like Expanders, I remember you said, would always like kind of battle with like, well, we don't want to do shit on the album that we can't do live, and I love that, you know. I'm kind of at the point now where I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna make the craziest record I can, and I'll figure out how to do it live later, you know.
Right. I mean, there's stuff to be said for both, you know. And even though that was the goal, there was plenty of songs like people would always request "Piece of Love" from Hustling Culture, and like we just had a really hard time with that song. Vocally and just playing all the stuff. I remember like, you know, Cheeky's is a Jedi in terms of like his bass playing and singing at the same
That
time.
shit's insane
you know?
to me, dude.
But
I don't know.
he said that song was really difficult for him to do, you know. So when he would tell me, he would never say that. So when he was telling us that, I was like, oh, I can't really push this then. And it was okay because that song's so hard for me to sing anyway. But like, yeah, stuff like that where you just don't realize until you try it.
That
and
brings
then
up
the flip is true too, you know.
Yeah, totally. That brings up a really good memory for me, man. We finished the summer tour with the Rise Roots and I Tell Vibes, and like it was a weird summer for me, and I didn't want to go home. And like you guys were doing the Catalyst Club for that fan appreciation day when you guys headlined the bigger, and I remember being backstage and watching you guys warm up. And this was before me and the Expanders were like actually close. Like we definitely knew who each other were, but I remember being in the green room and watching y'all warm up, and you were like, dude, this is the hardest fucking song to say. I think it was Piece of Love, but you guys are still back there nailing it in like the 3-piece just warm up vibes.
If we could have had a mic in some of those green rooms, we almost always sounded better in the green room than the stage.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, less shit going on.
Yeah. So there's a question here from Jamaica 14. Nate, if you're not producing the next Iya record, who is, if you can share?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with sharing it. As of right now, the plan is to go like as soon as the shelter-in-place lifts and we can run around. We're gonna try and go get in the studio with Ian Young.
Nice.
Because with Sacred Sound, we tracked it ourselves. That was like the first endeavor of us being like, hey, we're gonna record ourselves. So we recorded everything ourselves, and then we just sent the songs over to Ian, or sent the stems rather to Ian, and he mixed and mastered them. But I think there's going to be a real benefit to like getting down there in person with the guys and with Ian and like tracking the whole record that way. You know, because like every record for us has been so different. It's been like such a journey learning and like how to best capture our sound. And I still feel like, to be totally honest, we never really have. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we've ever really caught our live sound on an album, because we've tried different recording processes for every record, and they're both cool in their own ways. They all have their pros and cons, you know? So this is the step that I want to take for the next one, and the guys are all seem pretty enthusiastic about it, of getting in there. And, you know, this is our first record where with Tanner on drums, and Tanner's a fucking beast. And like, I love the way Ian records his drums, and he's homies with Tanner. I think it'll be a really good connection there, and let Tanner shine on the album for sure.
Nice. Oh, that's cool, man. That's gonna be great. Is that gonna be your first time working with a producer that's not in the group?
Yeah, like actually, because I'm gonna give him like full, you know, like me and Ian have a good relationship, because when we did Sacred Sound, we were sending him the stems, and then me and him would do like, I'm a pretty picky dude when it comes to like recording and like shit like that. So we would get to like 10 versions of a song with like, you know, all the revisions and stuff like that. So through that process of doing an 11-song record with him, we became pretty close, and I'll send him stuff and be like, yo, how's this sound? How can I make this sound better? And things like that. So, but I want to give him some creative control to like help us mold the tunes, because like I do really want to experience like the producer aspect of having a dude in the studio helping mold the songs, helping track them. Like, just I'm trying to always keep it new and fresh with Iya Terra, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
we got some. So Jocelyn Ortiz says, I always love asking people this, so I'm glad she asked. What is your personal favorite Iya Terra song, Nate?
Nate, who's your favorite child? Right?
Can it be unreleased? I don't know. I feel like I don't really. No, that's bad to say. I don't really love any of them.
Like any of our.
I don't really. You know what I mean?
So
like
good.
as an artist, like you release this shit and then you're like, yeah, that's done. Like the songs are out, so like we're so focused and passionate about the new shit. Obviously,
that's always the case. I mean, it's the case usually.
Yeah,
like the stuff you're working on now.
100%.
Like the stuff that you're stoked about, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, not to say I don't like them, but it's always like you release them and then I never listen to them again. You know, we play them, so it becomes almost like a new song, because you play it live. It's still changing over the years. I'd probably say Stars or Burn For You. I wrote that one about my lovely girlfriend. Katie, love you, babe. I don't know. Sometimes I trip out and throw on the EP, like the old EP, and I'm like, there's like certain pieces of songs, like, it's crazy because there's this song that I absolutely loathe on our EP called The Hit. It's fucking terrible. But there's a bridge section in it that I'm like, oh, I love that. You know what I mean? Because like those were the early days too, when we were still dipping our feet wet. Like we were getting our feet wet and trying to like figure out how to like play reggae that sounded like the bands that we loved. Like we had no idea. We had really no guidance other than like the elders in the scene that we looked up to that would be like, yo, like you got to do this and do that, you know, shape it. But so we would like, our songs were crazy. They would be like 5 chord changes in one song. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was different. You know, you can really hear that. Like a lot of people, I think too, like about Iya Terra, you know, they maybe sometimes don't realize like we were so young when we started it. Like I was 20 years old. So like even the shit that I was singing about, like I'll listen and be like, oh my God, I was such a kid, you know, like just, it feels like, you know what I mean? I don't know if you guys probably, like some of your old stuff in your catalog, you're like, holy shit, like you can hear how young you were and like valuable lessons you've learned since then and whatnot. Yeah. Well, yo, is my lighting, oh, I don't even have a light. Never mind. Light's gone. Empty apartment. So when it gets dark, it's dark.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, we're good.
Al Scholl has another question. Well, there's a bunch of, so people are, when we were asking you your favorite song, people were putting some of their stuff. Someone said Tafari says Anti-Establishment. That's a banger live.
Yeah.
One life, Catherine Pope said.
That's the weird thing though too, is like sometimes they're like you love them live and you don't like them. They're like two different entities.
Right.
And sometimes you love the song and maybe wish it had been recorded differently or something, but you still love that. You still love, think that's a great song. Like there are some songs on our first record where I'm like, oh, I love that song. I kind of wish we had played it better or whatever,
Yeah, for sure.
That happens. But Al Scholl has a question for you, and then let's get you to play another song if you're down.
All right.
How did it feel when you walked out at the bowl for Cali Roots? Was that the peak goal at the time? It was the best energy I've ever felt, and I felt extremely proud of you guys. We talked about it when we would open for 30 people, then boom.
Yeah, so I am really proud and happy that day exists, but I would never want to relive that day. Like that shit was so terrifying to me, man.
Really?
I had this conversation with my girlfriend a couple of days ago. Like we were walking, and cause like we always talk about how like when we get nervous in life, it means we care a lot about something. So we deal with nervousness a lot, and we try and embrace that and be like, this means I care about what I'm doing. So I'm nervous, but dude, I was terrified. Like I still get nervous before every show, and so like Cali Roots, it's like our NAMM, like it's like our Mecca. So everybody that you've toured with, everybody that you know is there. They're watching, and especially people are like, oh, they know our story. Like we started out, we like been rising, and they're like, is Iya Terra ready for the bowl? Like there's those weird thoughts in my head as a musician. That's like people are waiting to see, like, are they ready to take this step? You know what I mean? Like, and there's like a lot of pressure, and that can be a strange place to create art from. Is like a place of pressure. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you totally want to like ease your mind and like be in a meditative state of like free flow, and not so much in a state of like nervousness and pressure. So that, it was terrifying. I mean, it's always nice on that last song. That's where all the emotion really kicks in, is like when we get towards the end of the set and it's like, oh man, we did it. And like, we did well. And like, that's when I can really step back and enjoy it, is like that last song, Right. But what was the actual question? How did it feel? Yeah. Nervous.
Yeah. It was how did it feel? And was that the peak goal at the time?
For sure. We've always been in the practice of like at our rehearsal spot, we'll all print out something that's like a goal that we were trying to manifest, cool. And we'll like tape it on the wall in front. So like while we play, there's like pictures hanging up of stuff that are like our goals, So for like a couple of years, it was Cali Roots and it was Red Rocks. And it was cool because it was Steel Pulse playing at the bowl. Like that was just happened to be the picture. And then all within that year, we ended up getting a tour with Steel Pulse. We did Red Rocks and we played the bowl. So it was like all that shit like came true. It was crazy, man.
And we're having Steel Pulse on the show next week.
No way. Is that the next
game? David Hines next week. Yeah.
Yo, that's legendary, man. Yep. David Hines is one of the coolest cats. Like, because we spent 2 months on the road with them, and yeah, man, being around that guy is like something else.
Was that a Steel Pulse tour that you guys were on?
It was Steel Pulse, Tribal Seeds, and us, and then for like 10 shows, Ziggy Marley jumped on the East Coast. It was It was like huge. We were first to 4, but so a lot of the times it was like early set time, empty fucking amphitheater, but so dope. And then we got to break off and do a couple shows with just Pulse, and then a couple shows with just Tribal being direct support. So it's a cool experience, man. And the Steel Pulse guys, like the legends that those dudes are, and how long they've been around, and they've paved the way in such a cool way, and like how nice they were to us was awesome. You know what I mean?
Nice. Right. Yeah, I know Rootfire just released the latest Steel Pulse album, which is their first independent release. I'm pretty sure.
And got nominated for a Grammy.
It got nominated for a Grammy, so I know everyone at Rootfire was really stoked about that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, man. People are definitely requesting songs. I don't know if you have one you want to play, or you want me to read some of these requests. I can scroll through them.
Yeah, let's do a request. I do, like I said, I want to have fun singing these tunes. So I wrote a song a couple weeks ago in quarantine.
This is no fun.
This is awful, man. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, like, if I gotta play one of my own songs, there's no fun there.
I was hoping to play a brand new one. I don't even.
I kind of like. Yeah, I'd say go that route because you can see it in your performance, and I'm enjoying it.
Okay, cool. This one's not gonna sound like reggae at all. And I'm pulling up the lyrics here because like I wrote this like 2 weeks ago, but it's a fun one. All right, here we go.
All right, nice. World premiere again.
Yeah, just keeping the world premieres going. So many things that are left unsaid, so many worries that are never put to bed, so much pain with no means to end, long as we keep up this way. So many wounds that we have to mend, broken hearts that we have to tend to. Loneliness only needs a friend, hoping we can make the change. But I won't wait till it's too late. This is something that I think we need to know. We are walk our own road, and we are find our own hope. We are face our own fear. So don't shed no tears, no, no. I beg you, don't shed no tears yet. Oh, this life is a constant test. So sick of feeling like you're second best. Your worried mind, put that shit to rest. Better's gonna have to come, 'cause we're all looking for that peace of mind. We're gonna get it in our own due time. Stare at the sky, hoping your stars align, trying to find your way back home. No, 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 but you are not alone. This is something that I think we need to know. We are walk our own road. We are find our own hope. We are face our own fears. So don't shed no tears, no, no. I beg you, don't shed no tears, yes. I don't know, rough version.
on.
Heavy. Oh man,
Yeah.
that's the next hit. That's a good song, man.
Thanks, dude.
Sweet, man.
Nice, bro.
Help me write a bridge for it, Devin.
Okay, that's what you want Roger for bridges.
Okay.
Roger's got you for the bridges.
They call me Roger Bridge Revis. Devin's good
Yeah.
for verses and choruses. You want a bridge that
Yeah.
murders?
Okay, cool, cool.
I'm telling you.
I just want to be the last note guy. I just come on your song and just play the last note.
Yeah, just
Man, people are calling for an Iya Terra acoustic album.
uh-oh.
Dude, I'm ready.
I mean, you basically do though, right? Because like, I feel like with Sugar Shack being part of the scene, it's like everyone's
Yeah.
got an acoustic album like by accident.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
Which is crazy with Sugar Shack too, because like when they asked us to come on, like I definitely knew who Sugar Shack was and like thought that they were dope, but I had no idea like the outreach that they had, because like some of our songs on there have like 3 million views, and I'm like, oh fuck, like I did not, and we didn't rehearse at all. Like to keep it fun and shit, we would just show up.
Right.
Like, you know, we'd have a show the night before, then we'd drive a couple hours, show up at the Sugar Shack and be like, let's just wing it, you know? And we would just like, all right, acoustic version, and play the song kind of and figure it out. And
Right.
I think that added to like the vibe, because like,
sure.
you know, it was fun, but it's so funny, dude. But yeah, we definitely have like an acoustic album out, because we've done, I think, 10 songs with them now, and none of them were practiced at all except like that morning.
Yeah, that's
dope.
one of those. Sugar Shack's one of those elements in the scene that just like, it's just it's a great idea that's just simple. You know, it's like just
Yeah.
a basic thing. Let's look around at what's missing and let's fill that gap. You know, that's what we're trying to do with this. I
Yeah.
feel like that's what Backstage Music Lessons is doing. You know,
Yeah,
you mentioned
yeah.
you were doing some stuff with them, and Rootfire actually is. I'm working on an article. Where we're gonna talk about Backstage Music Lessons, and I have an interview with Kevin, the founder and
Yeah,
drummer,
man.
stick figure, obviously, and he mentioned you guys a lot about how you guys, Iya Terra, all kind of really embraced the Backstage Music Lessons, and that's continuing in the quarantine world.
Yeah,
So
more
how's
so
that been
now.
going? Yeah, how do people find you on that? Because I mean, if you guys don't know it, you can get a lesson with Nathan.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
that? What's that all about? I don't even know what it's about.
You guys should both
Explain
do
it
it,
to me.
because it's been a really cool possibility. And I remember, like, so we were the first band to just do, like, yo, our whole band's doing it. Like, Kevin reached out to me, and he was like, hey, like, I got some inquiries about yourself, but, like, you want to just ask the guys, and then we can just say all of Iya Terra is offering lessons, and I asked the guys, and he's like, yeah, let's do it.
Maybe
And
you
it's-
can even before you go into that, like since Roger's never heard of it, and I know some people in the audience never have, maybe you can explain kind of what Backstage Music Lessons is.
For sure.
It's really cool.
It's dope, man. First of all, big up Backstage Music Lessons. I know it's been great for the artist. It helps support the artist in like a cool way where we're not just like, hey, I could use some money, like throw money my way, but it gives you a chance to like not only offer a great experience to like a fan or like a young, like a fan's kid and like teach them music, but it helps support the artist and it gives the fan like a really awesome experience. But pretty much what it is Kev started it and it was just him giving lessons on the road, like on tour. And then he got Drummy Zeb, you know, Tribal Seeds and Barrington and Gary Jackson from the Movement. And it's like, it started out backstage, like on the road, fans could come out before doors, get an hour-long lesson, you know, hang out backstage, meet the band, and do all that. But then, you know, I think Iya Terra was the first ones to start doing online, and it wasn't me, but like Porch and Lou started offering online ones. And so then it kind of branched into that world, and now it's like this great catalog of all these musicians, and you can go on their website. I believe it's backstagemusiclessons.com, and you can browse. Yeah, I think so. You can browse through all the artists that are offering them. Obviously, they're all online right now because it started off like on the road, but no one's on the road now. But a lot of the artists are offering online lessons, myself included, and I've had like, I don't know, I've had a ton now, and they've all been great. Students are awesome. It's a cool experience. Even more so now because I can be at home in the studio, and like there's a couple people I'm working on like songwriting sessions with. And, you know, maybe they don't have any recording gear, or sometimes they don't even play an instrument, and I'll just help them build a song. You know, I'll just do like a scratch track, throw some drums, some piano, and we'll write lyrics together. And the online thing opened up a whole nother realm of like being able to teach different skills. So it's dope.
Nice.
It's a great thing.
Nice.
That's cool. So they come backstage. Normally, if there was live shows,
Yeah.
right, they'd come backstage or whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool. Just don't
Yeah.
touch my rider. Don't touch my rider.
No, but it's that, you know, Kevin and I interviewed him for this piece we're doing for Rootfire, and you know, we were talking about how it's, aside from just the lesson part of it itself, it's a really cool way to connect the artists and the fans, even more so than like a VIP meet and greet, right? Because you know, a lot of bands have done that where you know, whatever, you get your VIP ticket and you come watch sound check, and then you get to like line up and take a picture with the band and talk,
Totally.
which is cool. Like that's totally like an experience for the fans and the artists. But there's an element of like awkwardness there, you know. I've seen it.
Yeah,
Like, sometimes
yeah.
the standers would be on the road. I remember like when we were on tour with Iration and they were doing that, and you kind of watch, and people, the audience was there, and they were like, "Oh shit!" Like there's only 10 of us, and the band's looking at us, and like they don't,
Yeah.
you know, you could tell they
Yeah.
were feeling weird, and then like you were supposed to like go meet them, and you're like, "All right, now I'm gonna go meet them," and it's just weird.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like the Backstage Music Lessons, because it's in the context of this organized structure, we're having a music lesson that leads to it being more comfortable. You know,
Totally,
we kind of,
totally.
we understand what our interactions are gonna, you know, be, and if there's an awkward silence, we can fall back on like, okay, let's teach you a G chord. You know,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Like, and so Kevin was saying that's been one of the best parts. Have you found that to be true?
Totally, man. Totally. I think too, like one of the strange things is like, you know, you could be a musician for so long, but like I've never been an instructor of anything. So like I had to kind of like build my tools. You know, the first couple lessons I'm like figuring my shit out, like what's the best teaching methods and like how can I get my points across. And now I'm kind of like building a toolbox of like ways to show people how to do shit, you know. So like I feel I'm becoming a better instructor the more that I do, you know what I mean? Because it's not something that just comes naturally. I'm like a musician, a songwriter, but when it comes to like teaching somebody some shit, like it's a skill in itself that you have to sharpen, you know.
Totally, man.
So that helps with like the awkwardness, because those first couple lessons, it's like, you know, I've had tons of students that are like honestly better than me at guitar. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that great, and there's these dudes that are like, yeah, man,
Nate's
I'm
really great. Nate's really great at guitar.
Nah, man, it's but like there'd be guitar players that are like good as fuck, you know, and like, but maybe they book me for a guitar lesson, and I'm like, well, dude, you know bar chords. I can't show you bar chords. So maybe then I pivot, and it's like, well, what's your ultimate goal? Do you want to write songs? And then so it turns into like taking that skill and applying it to songwriting, and it's like there's so many pathways and cool shit that it could take, that and even if you are just a fan, you don't like, it's just a cool opportunity to like pick your artist's brains. Like there's tons of artists that I would want to take a lesson with. I just saw they announced Les, the drummer of J-Boog, is doing like production lessons and shit.
A beast, man.
Dude, he's a monster. And I'm over here like, dude, can I get a hookup on a lesson? You know,
It's mutual respect too in our scene. You know, I mean, there's things that we can teach each other, even if there's always something. I mean,
Totally.
I'll teach you how to make a dope ass Jaeger bomb. You know what I mean? You come backstage, we'll hook it up.
For sure, man. For sure.
Yeah. There's a video of Roger doing it with his feet. It's crazy.
No.
Big toe.
The Dubbest Boys.
Yes.
The Best. I'm sorry, I always say that name wrong. The Best. This is one of the great bands in the scene. We're gonna have these guys on at some point.
Yeah, man.
They want to know. This is probably Ryan asking this question. When you come up with the song idea, how much of it do you usually have nailed down when you present it to the band? Drums, bass, keys, etc., or just your parts, chords, and lyrics, etc.
Yeah, it's it's different every time for sure. Especially different every album, like when we first started, it was literally just me and Nick writing the songs together, and then Sacred Sound was like we were figuring out how to record ourselves, so we would like write and try and record, and then Coming to Light was a lot of like me writing and like producing and showing the guys that and be like, you like this, like can we change shit? And so to where I'm at now is like I want it to be super organic, and because I put so much like time into Coming to Light, I was like really set on certain sounds and shit that I liked. So now for this next album, like I'm keeping shit super bare bones. Like I'm not producing anything. I'm just writing a song, and I'm doing like quick guitar, quick drums, and then kind of just keeping it like a bare bones skeletal version of the song and bring it to the guys and tell, like, especially now that we're in quarantine. So I'll pretty much put drums and vocals and like a piano skink and be like, this is the song, and then let everybody shape their parts from their own little quarantine studio. Is how we're doing it now. And I really like I said, I want to keep the process fresh and everything. So it's like me just not like, I'm a perfectionist, dude, and it sucks. And I tend to write the fuck out of the song and then be like, this is the way I want it. And so now it's like we're at a point in our journey where it's like I just want to like let everybody just like blossom, and like, because I think that's why we've struggled capturing the same sound in the studio and on stage, like I really am trying everything in my power to like get that like center, like I don't know, that vibe.
I mean, I think that's cool because I mean I've dealt with a lot of bands and songwriters and singers, and even though it's not really, they don't talk about it, there's this kind of feeling of like, okay, hey, I'm the one who wrote the song. The keyboard should go like this, the bass should go like this, and it's kind of like this little power thing,
Yeah.
So it's really rare that you run across people that are just so open about it, that they really do want to find the band sound, and they want to embrace it. They don't. There's a lot of ego involved with a lot of people.
There is, man.
So it's really, really really dope to hear that, man.
Yeah. I think it's important to be like self-aware, and to like take the steps to like what's going to make your band happy, what's going to make you happy as a songwriter and a musician, like and I think communication and transparency is like so dope with that, because like after putting so much work into Coming to Light, like myself, like the first conversation after having it done was like, yo, like what are we doing different? I want to do a 180. I want to make this next album like, so I'm putting the boys to work. I'm writing a song, or they're writing songs, and we're sending shit to each other, and it's like, let's write, let's do it. I think it's gonna be a good thing, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Being self-aware is really, really important. Because there's that line, you want to stay true to the vision you have to the, for the song, especially if you're the main writer. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're always cognizant of the fact that like there's these other badass musicians in
100%
in the band, and they might have something to offer that when they first throw it seems like a curveball, because that wasn't in my head, but then you realize after a while, like, oh man, like that song totally became what it needed to be. Because
I've experienced that a lot, man. I think it's all in like having that self-awareness to like, I just know now I don't want to get too attached to anything. So that's why I'm doing these bare bones things. Like I'll just kind of structure the song and write some melodies and lyrics that I like, but I don't want to like write a bass line and then have that in my head. And then, I want to give it to Porch and be like, bro, just like do your thing and blow my fucking mind with this, or else there's going to be that ego that's like, well, I got this bass line and it's like really dope how it jives. Like I just, I want to just experience.
Now on the flip, would you be opposed to like if someone came to you and said, check it out, Nate, I have the lyrics, I have this already. Has that happened yet?
I'd love that. I'd love that. Like, I mean, it's never happened, so I don't really know. I mean, it depends. What if it's a shit song? I guess it depends on the song. What if if they're like, yo, I wrote this song and I really love it, and then it's just some bullshit, and you're like, fuck, dude.
Doesn't Nick Loporchio write some songs, or he keeps it all for his solo?
Well, it's different. Like there's certain times where like I'm writing a song or he's writing a song, and it's like it's ever changing and growing because he just released the solo record. So it's like we're still kind of learning like how to walk those, figure that out. But like in the past, it would be like I would work on a song pretty much, and we'd be like, dude, this one would be dope to have you on it. And so he would throw the verse, and he writes 100% of his own lyrics that he sings. You know what I mean? But it's like just certain songs with Iya Terra, you could hear like, yo, we should have Nick on this one for sure. And then so now he's writing for his record and everything, and yeah, it's cool, man.
He's got a great record.
Sweet,
By the way,
cool.
JC is on here, Nate. I don't know if you saw.
Yes.
JC from lead singer of the 4-piece band. So he told me, he said, "Smile, Dev." So
Smile for
but,
JC.
So I'm wearing I showed it earlier, but I'm wearing the
Yes.
Roots Train shirt. This was what was it, 2017?
And
fall
fall.
2017. The Expanders, Iya Terra, and 4-piece band. This is one of the
Jeez.
best tours I ever
Wow.
went on.
I agree.
The music was just
Where
slamming
did the
all
tour
night,
go?
man.
Where did it go?
It was all west.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was one of those, West
cool.
Coast, and then we probably went to like.
It was Colorado, was
Yeah.
like the furthest east we went. And it
We
was,
met up at, I think it started in Denver.
yeah.
Devin hit me the 4-piece band, and man, they're a great band as well.
Dude,
yeah.
those
I'm like
guys-
the old man, man. Devin's always introducing me to a bunch of these new bands, and I mean,
Yeah, you think I'm a Jamaican music snob? Snob's not the right, not the right
It's not the
word.
right term. And I worded it proper in my caption, enthusiast.
yeah, enthusiast.
Enthusiast.
Yeah, I'm an
Yeah.
enthusiast. Roger's
Well, no, I love that, man. I love that, because I'm coming from a place of like pretty much the new reggae movement, and you guys are like, I've heard the stories because I'm friends with all y'all people, and it's like I've heard the stories of like you guys were playing reggae in LA before it was cool. There wasn't really a scene. It was Jamaicans that would come over, and Expanders would back them, and Detour Posse would back them, and Roots Covenant would back them, and like there wasn't like these big reggae tours. So I think you guys have a grounds to be like,
scene was
hey, man.
small.
Yeah.
The scene was local.
And it was like kind of Jamaican centric, and now
it
it's
was
like
it was very ska oriented.
yeah. And so I think you guys have grounds to like, you guys have experienced tons of this, and I love what you guys are doing because you're doing it in a really positive manner where you're offering your knowledge to people, and at the same time staying open to like keeping your minds open to the new style of American shit, because a lot of the times there's that gap between, people, I don't fuck with the other side, or
Totally.
I don't fuck with that shit,
Totally, yeah.
So it's cool, man.
I mean, that's the point of this podcast is even I'll go one step further than keeping our minds open. I mean, it's like Roger and I both come from, the way we got introduced to reggae music was old school Jamaican music, but there's so much new stuff that we both love, and that I love, and it's like the whole point here is to bridge that gap that you were just mentioning. It's
Totally.
to bring and like I said on a couple other episodes, it's like musical taste is subjective, so it's not like I'm trying to get somebody who only listens to Rocksteady to suddenly like Iya Terra, or
Totally.
somebody who only wants to listen to Iration. I'm not trying to suddenly like have them be Stranger Cole fans or whatever, but
Yeah.
just to show people like there is this other music,
Yeah.
and you might not have found it otherwise, and let's try to cross the streams and expose each other.
Yeah,
and,
just offer that
you know?
to the, because if people are seeking it, they're going to find it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think people are seeking it, man. Like you see it a lot in like the new reggae kids, or like, it's almost like people are like puffing up their chest like, oh, dude, I know more roots than you, and it's like really like none of y'all do. Like talk to my homie Devin, talk to Roger, you know what I mean? But
Right.
it's like Pokemon cards, man. People are like, oh, I found this new artist. Like, I found this old artist, rather. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And you're like,
Right.
reggae is an interesting genre like that, man, too, because like there's like everybody's got
Stranger
their
Cole
own story.
Pikachu. You got,
Yeah, holographic.
yeah.
He's the holographic
Holographic
Pikachu. Yeah,
Pikachu.
super rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because it's true. Like for me too. Like there definitely like kind of came a point in my love for reggae where, I'm not really searching for like new reggae every day. I for whatever reason I'm just not. But like. Speaking directly from experience, we've got Juan Love as our tour manager now, and like that dude will constantly just throw some shit on that I'm like, fuck, and I like hearing it in an organic setting like
I
that.
love
you
those
know?
people that introduce it. There's Opie Ortiz from Long Beach to Ball Stars.
Yeah.
Is huge in this,
Yeah.
man. We'll be backstage and he plays some, and it's not just reggae. It'll be any kind of music. I mean,
Yeah.
Karambin's, that was the first time I heard it was through him, and so many cool bands. So it's always great having those people in your life that are
It's
just
great,
playing
man.
music. You're like,
It's
all right,
great.
who's got the Bluetooth speaker? Let him
Yeah.
get it. Go,
Opie's
play
always
whatever.
on.
For me too, like in the bus, it's like just keep the Bluetooth speaker away from me. I don't want the controls because I'm in a bus full of everyone that loves everyone's got their own style, but like
Totally,
typically
yeah.
the shit that I'm gonna put on is like people are gonna be starting to bust out their earbuds and like put them on. And I'm gonna like, so I always give it to Juan. We got Juan. Focus is a killer selector as well, and then we got Braden as well, our guitar tech who I see in the chat who will throw on some dope blues. By the way, everyone check out Braden's new single that came out yesterday. It's sitting at like number 10 on the blues charts right now, which is exciting.
Wow.
Nice,
Yeah.
man.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's
man.
insane.
Check
All
it
right.
out. Braden Waiters.
Congrats, Braden.
Right
Yeah,
on.
man. Yeah.
That's excellent. Well, we're coming close to that point where we got to call it a night. So I don't know. Do you want to what do you want to do, Nate? You want to play another song? You want to talk a little bit more? What are you thinking? No pressure here.
Whatever y'all want, man. But it is strange because I'm sitting in an empty apartment and it's getting dark.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, yeah, we might want to call it. Because it's funny as the time goes on, you start turning into just the black square.
But it sucks because I'm enjoying the conversation, man. This is
Yeah.
good.
Well,
This is
that's-
good
I dig
times.
it too.
Yeah,
I
this
think
is-
we're gonna have you back on,
that-
obviously. But
exactly.
when you do come back on, please go back to this where you're doing it now. Even
Totally.
if you have moved and all that.
I'm
stuff.
gonna knock on the
Just knock on
new residents.
Yeah.
And
We
just be like,
can't
no,
break
wait,
tradition.
before you say anything, and show them the video
Show
of
'em
this
the
video.
episode,
Be
and be
like,
like,
look,
this
this
is
is
we
very
need
special.
to. It's really important that we just do it here.
I'm sure my neighbors would love that. One of the key factors of us moving was our downstairs neighbors are fucking assholes.
Oh,
So
man.
I'm gonna see if I can just stream it from their house. I'll just knock
There
on
you
their
go.
door. And
Do
yeah.
All right. Well, why don't
Do
you
that.
play? Why don't you play
Let's
another
do a
one,
tune.
and we'll end the show with that.
All right, but let's see. First tune that I see in the comments. I'm looking at them right
Uh-oh.
now. So someone drop one, and I'm gonna
Shoot
do
'em.
it. I don't
First
want to
tune.
plan it out. Let's see. What do we got?
First tune, you guys are lagging. Shoot it.
Shoot it! I literally just see the
We have
Iya
70
Terra.
people.
I see the Iya Terra crew in the comments. Like, I see like our
I'm
whole
going-
band and crew.
People were dropping some songs earlier. I'm going back. The
Okay.
first one I
They
see,
got
I'll,
dropping
I'll
right
let
now.
you know.
I
Ladies and gentlemen,
guarantee
drop your song.
someone's probably gonna troll it. Okay, follow your heart. Boom. There
You
it
can't
is.
take
Oh.
no, you can't take wands.
Can't take one? Okay, all right,
Marching
all right,
on,
leave it.
marching on.
War Pigs.
War
Definitely, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do War Pigs in an acoustic style.
Jack-
I
Jack
love you,
Evans.
though, Vince.
Okay, no, we got some real ones. We got Marching
Stars.
On,
Can I do, I'm
Stars.
going to do stars.
There
Two
you go.
stars.
Do
That's
stars.
All right. It's a long one, so get your popcorn and, get comfy.
I got
This
mine.
I'm out of here.
This is a 48-minute song.
Okay.
Oh, man.
All right.
I'm joking.
With a jam interlude.
Yes.
All right. Look up to the stars, they will carry you home. Back to the place that's where you belong. People have been wondering where you've gone. You tried and you tried and keep it on, yeah. Some people spend their whole life searching, looking for the message in the lessons that we learned. Love is the fire, keep that fire burning. Speak from the heart, cause your heart is yearning to be free. Inside the people like you and me. It took me many lifetimes before I could see that, but now I see it so clearly, deep within the eyes of the people I love dearly, yeah. And still I'm learning from the errors of my ways. I'll be keeping on until the end of my days, cause I've learned in time, life is fucking beautiful, so go and let your light shine. Said I don't know which way I'm gonna go, but I gotta keep going, yes. Just take me home. Said when you look up to the stars and you feel it in your heart, that's when you'll know. Just take me home. Just take me away, far from the city where I come to stay, to gather up my heartbeats, put them on the page, so I can throw them to the skyline, just to pass my time by every single word I say. Let it be peaceful, let it be meaningful, create something beautiful, powerful, magical, something I can live for. What are you waiting for? Go and let your light shine. Said I don't know which way I'm gonna go, but I gotta keep going, yes. Just take me home. Said when you look up at the stars and you feel it in your heart, that's when you'll know. Just take me home. Just take me there to the place that I wanna be. Looking up, I see the future in front of me. I see the past and I don't look back. Right here, right now, that's exactly where I wanna be. We live, we learn, we grow, we have to fall to rise. Lessons learned the hard way, open up our eyes. Sometimes I laugh, sometimes I cry. All of my darkness, all of my light. Said I don't know which way I'm gonna go, but I gotta keep going, yes. Just take me home. When you look up to the stars and you feel it in your heart, that's when you'll know. Just take me home. Just take me.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's such a nice song. I had to try to not sing along.
I was waiting for it. I'm like, dude, hook
No,
me
I
up
can't.
with that.
They haven't figured out how to sync these things yet, like we were talking about. But man, that was so
Yeah.
nice. Thank you so much, man. That
man.
meant a lot to people watching it. You know,
Cheers, man.
Iya Terra is one of those groups. I feel like even more than some other bands that like the connection between fans and you guys, just in terms of like what your lyrics mean to people and everything, that you could just really see that connection. And I know that's one of those tunes that people really that means a lot to a lot of people. So
Yeah,
thanks for
man.
playing that one.
That shit makes me happy, like that kind of vibe, you know? Like, I don't know. That's just a really good thing, man. I'm really appreciative that, like, the music can do that for people because, like, 100%, even just you saying that gave me goosebumps. Like, that's what it's really all about, you know what I mean? Is, like, being able to write a song that's true to you and have people be, like recognize, you know, that it's real to them as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I was talking to Devin about it. I don't know who I was having a conversation with, but there's just so many songs that that's not what it is. It's like it's just the words, and you're
Yeah.
not really reading into it. So it's really refreshing
100%.
to hear. I mean, every single song you played today, I was like listening to the actual content and lyrics, and yeah, man, hats off, dude. It's
Thanks,
like
Raj.
poetry. You're like
Thanks,
a
man.
poet. I love it, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, bro.
You're like
Yeah,
you're like some sort of artist.
That's
like
so
some
crazy.
kind Yeah.
I just write rhymes, dude. I just listen to Kendrick Lamar. That's it. So.
No, that's not. You can do worse than that.
No, but for real, man, I appreciate like the people that tuned in too, because I know we got a lot of our core fans in here. So thank y'all, especially during these weird ass times. Thank you for the support because we're grateful for it, and I'm sure every other band and every other artist is like blown away by the support during this like virus
Absolutely,
shit.
man.
It's insane, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, everybody. And remember, you can donate at rootfire.net/TV. The Venmo is Rootfire. It's there on the bottom of the screen. You guys can see it. People are commenting, so good. Your lyrics are everything.
Thanks, guys.
And, you know, so before we let you go real quick, is there anything you want to make sure people know? You know, how can people be supporting Iya Terra right now? All that stuff.
Yeah, man. Definitely like what everyone has been doing, all the fans and everything, like that's already so much more than we could have asked, you know? I feel like it's like this army of support that's like, oh shit, my artist is in need. Like people are just like, have been so amazing to us. But if you feel the need to support, the best way, obviously, I think we can donate here through Rootfire, right?
Mm-hmm.
So donate there or go on the store, go on the Iya Terra store, buy merch. We have a whole working crew that all benefits from those sales. You know, we got guys behind the scenes that are all benefiting from that, which is important to take care of them as well as the artist. Book a lesson. You can book lessons with any single one of my band members.
Through BackstageMusicLessons.com.
Yep, I create crucial crystals. You could hit me
Yes.
up. I got you on the Crucies.
Crucies.
Go pick up Focus's album. My boy Porch just dropped some shit. My guitar tech Braden just dropped some shit. I know Lou's gonna be dropping some shit.
Nice.
I just produced a new track from Mahali. Go pick that up. It's called All That. There's tons of ways, man. But I mean, really just listening to the music and like reaching out to us and just saying, hey, man, I can't wait for you guys to get back on the road. That's like what means the world to us. So thank you.
Cool, Nate.
Right on,
Thanks
man.
so much, man.
Yo.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you soon. I hope to see you sooner than later. Say what's up to Katie. I know she's there.
By the way, too, yeah, I will. Same for Vanessa.
Yeah.
By the way, next time, if I do come back on, I'll be in the new studio. So if you're ever,
Nice.
either of y'all in the Orange County area, come through.
Wicked.
Me and Devin made a tune a long time ago that never saw the light of day. I'd love to revisit that or
let's
do
it.
another one.
No,
Y'all
we have
have
more
it.
stuff in us.
Yeah. Cheers,
Thank
guys.
you, Nate.
Thank
Right
you,
on,
man.
Thank you so
All
much,
right,
man.
cheers.
All right, love you, bro. See you.
Peace, guys.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
All right.
And then there was 2.
And then there was 2. Look at that. I'm learning how to control all this stuff.
Devin's controlling the overlays this week.
So
everyone grade him.
Man, big up to Nate for joining us today. That was a great conversation.
Yeah.
You know,
Nate's really cool, man.
Nate's a great guy. It's been so nice seeing Iya Terra rise the way they have. And you know, just their fan base keeps growing, and you just see like when their fans would come out to shows on the tour we were on with them, just how much those fans they're all about Iya Terra. It's great. It's great to see.
Right.
Well, so we've gone pretty long tonight, so let's quickly tell people what we got coming up.
Yes, next week's a big week.
Yeah.
Mr. David Hines from Still Pulse will be joining us. This is we're really excited for this. I mean, obviously it's great getting some of the dudes that are doing their thing now and like the modern cats, but anytime we can get an old school artist in, it's just like extra special for me and Devin. Clinton, when he was in here, that was just a dope segment, and next week is going to be really cool as well. So don't miss that. David Hines with Mr. David Hines from Still Pulse. That's going to be awesome. And Long Beach Dub All Stars. Right,
coming
Dev?
up. It's almost here. The new Long Beach Dub All Stars album. We've been waiting for we've been waiting a long time to get this album out, you know. So it's coming out May 29th. You can already go pre-order it and all that stuff. When you do, you get 3 singles at this point. I think you get them immediately. Roger and I had the fortune to play on that record. Roger's on the whole thing. I'm on 5 tunes, and it's a good record, man. I listen to it all the time.
Yeah, it's a dope record.
Stoked for that.
We're excited for it to drop, and when it does drop, the day after, we will have Marshall Goodman and Opie Ortiz on this show. So that's gonna be a very special.
Oh, we got
one
some
too.
good stuff coming up.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about what we got coming up as far as guests. So David Hines is next week. The following week, we got Mr. Kyle McDonald from Slightly Stupid, and then the following week, we got Opie and Marshall coming in and talking about Long Beach Dub. We'll talk about some Sublime stuff as well with Marshall, so that'll be sweet. Devin, see, it looks like you have your songbook sessions this Tuesday, right?
Yeah, this Tuesday, as I'm doing every Tuesday, it's songbook sessions with Man Like Devin. That's me, where I sit in this very room and just play guitar. This very guitar.
Yes.
And you know, it's an opportunity for me to play music, and people come on and request old Expander songs, new songs I'm writing, do a lot of Jamaican covers. It's just me playing music. So I'm doing that every Tuesday at rootfire.net/TV. Please check that out. And what do you got going on, Raj?
Oh, man. It's the same but different. So the Jason Mraz thing's been really taking off. He's coming out with new songs left and right. You know, I mean, his album was supposed to drop. It is dropping this summer, but in the quarantine vibe, it's just difficult. We were supposed to play some live shows, maybe do some TV appearances. So for all y'all out there, I've been fortunate to play keyboards on Jason Mraz's new reggae record, Look for the Good. And he came out with this new tune, Wise Woman, a day ago, I think it was. So you can go on YouTube, his official channel, check that out, and all the other outlets. You got Spotify and all that stuff. You can pre-order the album. I mean, this album's really dope. I'm super proud of it. I'm proud of the work I did on it, and Jason's a great songwriter, so go peep that.
Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, man. But other than that, yeah. Thank you guys for supporting. And we got that next. We'll talk about the website. There's a new website we have where you can go and check out some new music that we put up on our playlist. The playlist will be updated every Saturday, so it was freshly updated this morning. And we have 2 new songs, Devin's Song of the Week and my Song of the Week. Those are uploaded on there as well. Go check that out so you guys can really, let that sink in. So when we do talk about the tunes, it just makes a little more sense, and you can vibe with us on that.
Yeah, we're really stoked about the way the website's coming, and we want to make sure people understand what we're trying to do with that segment of the show. Because if you've watched the show so far, you've seen that we do our Tune of the Week, and we only play a little snippet of the song. But if you go to the website, you can hear, not just the songs that we played on the show, but some other stuff that we've put in that playlist too. And, we're not only are we trying to connect artists and fans with this podcast, but we're also trying to get people to listen to old school Jamaican music. And so if you go to the website, the Reggae PodClash.com, you can hear the music that we're really trying to share with people. My dad is telling me that dinner is getting cold. I am here at my parents' house for Mother's Day, So that might
I'm
be my
clapping
cue.
for Mother's
That
Day.
might be my cue.
Devin, Mother's Day. Clap it. Good job, Devin. Congratulations on Mother's Day, Devin.
Yeah,
And
well, thank you.
Pam Morrison, congratulations for having such a beautiful child here. I do like Patrick a little more, but I'm just going to say Devin's here. And,
Story of my
Patrick
life,
Morrison,
but-
what do we have the email as well. Please, you guys, if you want to reach out to us, you can email us at the Reggae PodClash at gmail.com. Shoot over some new tunes. If you guys find a tune on YouTube and you think we would dig it, feel free to shoot it over. Yeah.
Please. We're here to share, receive, and to give.
Yes. It's a
All right,
two-way
man.
street here.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Please, tell your friends about this show. We appreciate all the support. We want to keep growing the audience and get more people, talking about reggae with us. We'll talk reggae all day. So we hope that,
Yes.
you come back and keep watching and keep listening, and we can talk more reggae music.
Definitely. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Peace, everybody. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Later.